Okay, so let's set the scene for this deep dive. It's late. It's 11:30 at night,
Very late.
and the emergency room at the Al-Ayyat General Hospital is suddenly plunged into just pure chaos.
Complete chaos, yeah.
You have a woman, Fadia, she's 27, and she is literally struggling, dragging her 33-year-old husband, Mustafa, through the doors.
And she's frantic. She's shouting that it's poison, acute poisoning right after dinner.
But the moment the medical team actually lays eyes on Mustafa, you can just feel that panic in the air just freeze.
Right, because this wasn't a race against time anymore. This was something else entirely. It felt like a crime scene disguised as a medical call.
So as an ER team, they see everything. What was it that immediately told them the story wasn't right?
Well, they have this instinct, the physical reality just didn't match the story she was telling. Mustafa was clearly deceased. That was obvious.
But the poisoning claim.
The poisoning claim was the first problem because of his clothes.
His clothes.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. If you collapse from food poisoning at your dinner table, what are you wearing?
Something comfortable, pajamas, loungewear, whatever you wear at home.
Exactly. But Mustafa was in his full going-out attire, clothes he'd wear to see friends, to go to the coffee shop. It just didn't fit the quiet dinner-at-home narrative.
That alone feels like a huge red flag.
It is, but then it gets even stranger. The team noticed two other things. First, he seemed to have recently showered. His hair was still a bit damp.
After being poisoned.
Bizarre, right? And then, the most critical detail, they saw small, faint bloodstains on his outer clothes. And, well, you don't bleed from food poisoning.
A poisoned man, dressed to go out, who somehow just showered and he's bleeding.
Exactly. It's not a medical case anymore. It's a forensic one.
So when the doctors officially confirmed his death, what did they find?
The external exam confirmed all their suspicions. This was not poisoning. They found small puncture wounds on his back and abdomen and the final piece of the puzzle. A clear, unmistakable blow mark on the back of his head.
Homicide.
No question. The medical staff, they didn't even hesitate. They just called security.
So security arrives, and the investigation kicks off right there in the ER waiting room. Fadia is, I imagine, incredibly tense.
Visibly.
Yeah.
They get the basics. Mustafa, 33, a laborer, good reputation. Fadia, 27, also seemed well-liked. They'd been married 5 years, 2 kids, looked normal on the surface.
And that's when Fadia launches into her first story.
Right, her first narrative. The toxin. She says Mustafa came home late. He'd brought some food with him from outside. She served it, he ate, and then bam, sudden intense stomach pain, sweating, collapse.
The classic tainted street food story.
The perfect story if you don't have a body full of other evidence.
How fast did the police pick that apart?
Instantly. For 2 really simple reasons. First, as we said, the clothes. It just made no sense. And his friends confirmed, yeah, that was his routine, coming home late from the coffee shop.
And the second reason?
Logistical.
Yeah.
That's her very simple question. Where did he buy the food?
And she said,
I have no idea.
how convenient. Just completely dead ends that line of inquiry.
Exactly. But it was already irrelevant. The moment the autopsy was going to confirm a blow to the head, the poisoning story was toast anyway. Mustafa's body was sent for a full forensic workup.
And Fadia was detained?
She was, and the reports say that the second she heard the words criminal suspicion, her entire demeanor changed.
She knew line number 1 had failed. She couldn't explain away the violence.
Right, so she has to pivot. She needs a story that includes violence, but crucially removes her from being responsible for it.
Which brings us to her second, far more dramatic story, the home invasion.
This one is theatrical. She claims 3 masked, armed men burst into their apartment. They savagely beat Mustafa and threatened to kill her and the children if she made a single sound.
It's a terrifying story.
A terrifying story that creates a very messy crime scene.
Yeah.
And when the forensics team went to the apartment,
There was no mess.
none. The apartment was pristine, no signs of forced entry, no furniture overturned, no scuff marks, nothing broken. In fact, the dinner area was almost weirdly neat and tidy.
The tidiness itself is suspicious, isn't it? A cover-up is sterile. A real home invasion is chaos.
Precisely. And in a quiet area like that, someone would have heard or seen something. 3 armed men, a violent fight. The neighbors heard nothing, saw nothing.
So now she's told 2 completely contradictory, verifiable lies.
Yes. And the forensics team did find one small thing. Just one tiny piece of physical evidence.
What was it?
In the bathroom, they found a pair of pajama bottoms, and on them, a small but very distinct spot of blood.
Which points to a cleanup, not a home invasion.
It's everything. It changes the question from who attacked them to who cleaned up afterward. And then the police canvassing the neighborhood, they get another critical piece of information.
From the neighbors. About the trip to the hospital.
Yes, they all saw Fadia taking Mustafa to the hospital. But she wasn't alone.
Who was with her?
A man named Hassan, Mustafa's younger brother. A detail Fadia had conveniently left out of her story.
A massive omission. I mean, why would you hide the fact that the victim's own brother was there helping you?
You wouldn't, unless he was involved. So when they confront her about Hassan, she has to pivot again. Lie number 3.
The antiquities trade.
Right. Suddenly, Mustafa was involved in some secret, illegal trade. Antiquities, maybe. She claims the fight was with a business associate. And, crucially, she says Mustafa was still alive after, but he forbade her from calling for help.
To avoid getting arrested for his illegal dealings.
Exactly. She was just, honoring his wishes until he died.
So, toxin, home invasion, secret trade, each story more complex, each one designed to explain away a piece of evidence they confront her with.
The police know at this point she's not just hiding something, she is orchestrating a cover-up. And the man she tried to hide, Hassan, he becomes the absolute focus.
Let's talk about Hassan. He was 25, just back from working in Libya.
And Mustafa trusted him completely. He treated him almost like a son. Hassan ran errands, helped around the house.
Yeah.
He had total access, total trust. That's the key here.
So when police bring Hassan in, they must be expecting him to back up Fadia's story.
I'm sure that's what they thought. But that expectation was just shattered. Instantly.
What did he say?
He didn't offer a defense. He didn't try to protect her. He offered a full confession.
Wow.
He accused Fadia directly of the murder. He said she manipulated him, pressured him, and that he agreed to help her kill his own brother.
He just gave her up immediately. How did Fadia react to that? I mean, her own partner in crime turning on her in a second.
That was the final straw. That was her breaking point. With Hassan's confession out in the open, she finally broke down completely and told them what investigators called the most vile story.
Because of the intimacy of it all. The betrayal.
The sheer depth of it. It all started with neglect. They had been married 5 years, but after the first few months, Mustafa was just absent. He worked, and then he spent every night with his friends, coming home very late.
Leaving Fadia completely alone.
Isolated, lonely, and feeling neglected. And then in 2015, Hassan returns from Libya.
And he walks right into that emotional vacuum.
He does. He sees her loneliness, and he sees an opportunity. Because of the trust Mustafa placed in him, he could be in the apartment all the time, alone with her. He started giving her the attention her husband wasn't.
The sweet words.
At first she resisted. You're my husband's brother. But that didn't last long.
The loneliness was too much.
It was. And eventually she started encouraging it, changing how she dressed when he was coming over, setting the scene. By late 2015, they were in a full-blown affair.
And this went on for a whole year.
A full year, right under Mustafa's nose. He never suspected a thing.
Until 2016, when Fadia decided the affair wasn't enough, she wanted Mustafa gone for good.
And she asked Hassan to help her kill him, his own brother. The most chilling detail here is how quickly he agreed.
How long did it take him to decide?
About 30 minutes. And he didn't just agree, he came up with the plan.
The poisoning, to make it look like an accident.
Perfect deniability. He went and got the poison, gave it to Fadia, they set the trap. Fadia makes dinner, laces the food, and Mustafa eats it. But it didn't work.
The dose wasn't strong enough.
It wasn't. It made him incredibly sick, in intense pain, sweating, just agony. But it didn't kill him. And this is the most horrifying part of the whole story.
What did he do?
He's writhing in pain, and he looks to his wife for help. And he asks her to call the one person in the world he knows he can count on.
No.
He asks Fadia to call Hassan for rescue.
He called his own killer to come and save him.
That is the ultimate betrayal. Hassan arrives, and Mustafa looks up, probably so relieved to see him. He's expecting his brother to rush him to the hospital.
But that's not what happened.
No. Instead, Hassan grabbed a wooden stick, a cane, and he brought it down with full force on the back of his brother's head.
Which explains the head wound the doctors found.
It explains everything. But even then, he wasn't done. He wasn't sure the blow was fatal, so he took out a small knife.
To make sure.
And he stabbed his unconscious brother multiple times in the back and abdomen. Those were the small wounds Fadia tried to pass off as poisoning symptoms.
And from there, the calculated cover-up begins.
Yes. The murder is done. Now the staging. Hassan drags his brother's body to the bathroom. He washes off the blood.
Explain why he looked like he'd showered.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then he changes Mustafa's clothes, putting him in going-out attire.
And that's where the bloody pajama pants came from.
They were discarded in the bathroom. Then he coached Fadia, told her to get the body to the hospital and stick to the poison story no matter what.
And the whole elaborate plan, the staging, it all falls apart on arrival because the violence was just too obvious.
It shows you how physical evidence will always, always trump a story, especially a story that has to change 3 times. The investigators just followed the small details, the clothes, the shower, that single spot of blood, and it unraveled a conspiracy a year in the making.
In the end, both Fadia and Hassan were convicted and sentenced to death. A truly horrific end to a story that began with simple neglect.
It's a terrifying case study in how betrayal can escalate from something emotional into cold, calculated violence.
It is. But the moment that truly defines this whole deep dive, the one you'll carry with you, is the crushing irony of Mustafa's final moments.
It's just brutal to think about.
Can you just imagine? You're in agony, you look up and see the 2 people you trust most in the entire
A
world.
wife and your brother.
And you feel this wave of relief. They're here, they're going to save you. And then you realize they are the very reason you need saving. That they're the ones delivering that final fatal betrayal. That level of misplaced trust is just, it's almost impossible to comprehend.